All right, guys, I am AOA, and this is AOA The Shed. Today we got Rios Mios.
Here we are. How are you feeling today?
Good, man.
I know I am.
Yes, sir. Take us back, man. Take us back to childhood. What type of person were you at this time?
Okay, as a kid, I was definitely class clown and like, for lack of better terms, like an attention whore. I was always like, even if in class it was like from making trouble to like being the kid to read the passage in the book. I had to be the one talking and making sure people were like paying attention to me. So that was me as a kid. Besides all the other like kid stuff, just playing video games and shit like that.
What about middle school? Were you just always this attention person in middle school? Is that where it started?
Middle
or was
school,
it before?
middle school, I moved to a new school, and I don't know, like I was almost gonna reinvent me for a little bit there, but I think it just stayed the same. Once I got comfortable with all the new kids, I just started being myself again. So, same thing.
And where were you at this point?
Effingham, Illinois. It's probably 4.5 hours away from right here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like 2.5 hours west of Indianapolis. So.
Okay. And you said it's it's a small town?
Yeah, it's a small town. It's probably 10,000 people. But I live in an even smaller town of 1,000 people on the side. So. Yeah.
So everybody knew everybody in your middle school.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And everybody's business was everybody's business. It was silly.
Yeah.
It was so silly.
So then let's get into high school. Was anything changing? Was it a lot more funner for you at this point? Were you with yourself still?
Yeah, high school came around. I started being a bit of a troublemaker a little bit more. I was causing some ruckus, causing some problems. Just having fun, honestly. But like in my song, I like being bad. I might not be evil, but I like being bad,
You want to touch up on that? What is
Dude, okay, so like, there's like a little mini golf course in our town, and like we go there and just like reinvent the golf course ourselves, and then go play like rounds, and they'd come back and they'd be like, who is fucking up the golf course? Because like we were moving the elephants and shit like that, and all the park stuff. Like we'd put them all in the corner, or like make them all surround like the booth in the middle. Like we were just doing goofy stuff, like nothing like mean, but just being goofy with
just
it.
Having fun.
Yeah.
Were you partying a lot at this time in high school? When did
Yeah,
the
pretty
partying
much.
start?
As soon as I got my car, and I could drive around places, that's where I started figuring everything out, honestly. Thinking on it, high school was like a little bit more of the same of me, just like, trying to be in front of people and like get attention and whatnot. But it's definitely where I learned where enough can be enough. If you keep bugging people and you're always in people's faces, they're going to get irritated of you. And that's kind of where I started to learn, like, how much is enough whenever you're trying to, grab people's attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you use that strategy with marketing and everything like that? Do you think sometimes you can overblow a page?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially with like Instagram, those algorithms pay attention to that. We can get into that later. But even in live shows, it's, if you are always in people's faces 24/7, you're gonna wear them down, and it's gonna hurt the perception of you. But it's a thin line, because you got to be in their face and you got to engage with them.
Right.
So it's a very thin line. But once you figure it out and it starts clicking up here, and you know how to do it right, it's good. It's good.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say outside of high school, did you go to college? Are you in college?
I went to college. I went to community college for 2 years. That was super fun time, and it was a very blossoming time for Rios Mios. I moved out of the house. I was living on my own. I was 18 years old, had a tank full of gas and a dream, and I was like, I want to make a song in Chicago. So I literally just Googled studios in Chicago, got in my car and drove 3 hours north and got a song recorded. And that song is called I'm Up. And I still perform that song every time I perform. And I think it's crazy that song has gotten to be so timeless, yet so impactful to me personally. Because, you can still sing it. I was stuck But I'm up now, and that shit has been following me around for 7, 8 years now, you know. So it was definitely a very blossoming time for Rios Mios. Gave me a lot of freedom and time to make music and learn what I got to do. I started doing open mics at Eastern Illinois University.
Nice.
Some of my very first performances there, and yeah, it was a good time.
Hell yeah. How many shows have you done during that time frame?
I was doing open mics once or twice a month, and then I was doing like actual shows probably once a month. And I had a little manager at the time too, helping me out, and just like getting me some gigs here and there. So that was cool too, you know, because you can't do everything yourself. You gotta have a team.
Is he still your manager to this day?
He took his own path. He's a UFC fighter now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's kicking ass. Literally.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah. But then after community college, I went to U of I. And U of I was where Rios Mios was really starting to get some traction. And like I was selling merch and like making a lot of money, enough to be like, do I stop? You know, do I stop going to school? And I started talking to my mom about it, and she was like, no, not this shit. Not this shit now. You're 3 years into this. And I was like, come on, Mom, give me just a little bit. And she was like, no, you're finishing that school, and you're getting good grades, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do that. So I had to lay back off of Rios Mios for a while. And I think it was good for me, because if I would have kept pursuing that at the time, I think I would have gotten burnt out. And I don't know, but it was a good break. I sat back. Rios Mios disappeared for probably about a year, and I got grades up. We started doing good in school again, and we got that degree.
What do you have your degree in?
Health administration. It's a community health degree. Haven't really used it yet, but hey, people don't care about what the degree says. It's just if you have a degree. So it was good. I'm glad my mom pushed me to keep going to school, because it does feel nice to say I have my degree. But sometimes I'm like, was it worth it? Was it?
Did you have your both parents behind you, backing you for school?
Yeah. So I had my mom and dad divorced when they were whenever I was really young, and then we moved back to that small town in Illinois. So my mom always backed me up, and then once college came around, my dad kind of like came back around, and he was like, you know, I want you to do this. This is something that's important to me. So he also, with him coming and giving me that extra like push, I think it was definitely impactful for me, you know, because I always listened to my mom, but having my dad there to also be like, hey, just so you know, I agree with this too. I was like, okay.
Have they always been behind your music career as well?
No, mom's definitely being fishy on it. Mom's fishy, but we're just gonna have to, you know, agree to disagree on that sometimes. But you know, it's okay. She keeps me grounded. You know, if you shoot too high or something like that and get burned by the sun, right? Something like that. Or no, my song literally, I done flew too high. Oh, something I can't remember what I say. But anyway, it's literally like that. If you gotta keep it, you gotta give yourself a reality check. You can shoot for the stars, and you always should, but you need to give yourself some real physical